a spoiler talk of Chip and Dale. So if you haven't seen Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers and you don't want spoilers, then well, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you being here. We're talking spoilers now, but if you haven't seen it and you want no spoilers, I do have a non-spoiler review for Chip and Dale. It's up on my channel right now. Please go check that out. But if you have seen it, get your keyboards ready and let's talk Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers spoiler talk. Seth, anybody who's seen my review knows that I loved this freaking movie. I told you backstage, like the entire time I was watching it, I was like a kid, like 8-year-old me came out again. I was just like,
yeah,
more like 10-year-old me. But yeah, I loved every moment of this movie, maybe a little too much actually. Just nostalgia train, man, nostalgia train. And what they did in this film, the way they did it, I thought was just absolutely wonderful. But before we unpack all of that, what were your thoughts on this film?
I liked it. I enjoyed it a lot. I had no idea what to expect going into it. I'll say that. I like the two people starring in it, not Chip and Dale. I mean, Andy Samberg and John Mulaney, who voiced Chip and Dale.
Right.
I liked them both quite a bit. So we'd heard Seth Rogen was going to be in the movie, so I was curious to see what the movie was. But Jesus, like this movie is nonstop.
Yeah, nonstop.
Like just every second, every single frame, you're just you once you realize what this movie is, you're looking for cameos.
Yeah,
everywhere.
Oh, and you can spot them anywhere and everywhere. Like as I said in my review, it's wall to wall cameos. Like it would take years to go through and like point out each and every Easter egg and cameo that shows up in this movie, and some cameos are cameos of things that actually don't even exist. The biggest one being the best cameo in the movie, Ugly Sonic. Ugly Sonic has a huge part in this movie.
He does. I thought once the beginning was over and like he had moved on, I was like, oh, that's it. But they came back for like 3 more times throughout the movie.
So okay,
and saved the day.
So Ugly Sonic, man, to me was one of the greatest gems that this movie had. And essentially, if you're watching the spoiler talk but you haven't seen it because you don't care about spoilers, let me just break this down for you real quick. So he shows up at like Comic-Con because the cartoon characters are pretty much, I mean, they're treated like actors, like the whole Roger Rabbit treatment. They just live in society. And so
in the movie.
What's that? Yeah.
I said who was also in the movie, Roger Rabbit.
Yes, Roger Rabbit's also in the movie. And so they're at this Comic-Con event and all this stuff. That's where Dale is signing pictures and doing the Rescue Rangers thing. And then you see Ugly Sonic, and it's the Sonic from the first trailer that everyone was up in arms about, that they made them redesign Sonic for the movie, which was a great choice because the new design looks fantastic for what the movie is. Yeah. But they took that Ugly Sonic concept and they put it in this movie as he is that character. And he's living it up. That's what he's at Comic-Con for. His banner says Ugly Sonic, and like when he's sitting there talking and Dale can't stop looking at his human teeth. Dude, I lost it. I believe I texted you when that moment happened.
You did, yeah.
I was so giddy about that. Cody Ray chimes in and says, I remember watching the cartoon after school. I'm going to have to check it out. Yeah, Cody, man, it's so good. So good. And it's on Disney Plus right now. Disney Plus. So you can, if you have Disney Plus, you can go watch it right this moment. And I highly recommend you check this out.
The funniest part about Ugly Sonic to me is that they didn't get Paramount or Sega's permission for that. Do you know that?
No. Would they have to?
Is a legal loophole because they changed the design slightly. They put like the bags under his eyes and they gave him more of a pudgy belly and they changed his voice. He falls under the parody section of a character.
Right.
And you can parody characters in your movies.
Well,
so they didn't have to get permission. I mean, and they never call him Sonic or Sonic the Hedgehog. They only call him Ugly Sonic.
Yep. Like Sonic is his last name or something.
Yeah, that's how they got away with that.
That's beautiful. And that's ironically the entire like plot, like the entire antagonist's plan in that movie is that whole, copyright infringement thing, where they slightly change a character so they go underneath the copyright laws and then they okay, let's break that down. The entire premise of the movie, like what's happening, because you have your main antagonist, which is of course the biggest baddie in cartoon history, Peter Pan, who grew up to be an adult and a bad guy, and he's like he kind of reminds me of like one of those like classic, stereotypical Italian guys. He's got kind of the pudgy stomach, the gruffy beard. He talks a little funny like this,
Yeah.
And so what he wants to do, what his goal is, he takes, cartoon characters that were famous before, but they're not so famous now, and maybe they owe him money or something like that. So what he'll do is he'll kidnap them, change their likeness just enough to where they don't look exactly the same, and remarket them in bootleg versions of their own movies. It's absolutely insane. And I'm there for it. I'm there for every moment of this concept. I think that's because it not only shows you the reality of like how you can get past copyright laws, which is obviously what they did with the Sonic Hedgehog cameo, or Ugly Sonic rather. But it also kind of makes a nod of all the bootleg material that we do have out there. I mean, you can go to any secondhand store in the movie section and find bootleg versions of these characters, and I just love that how they just incorporated that into this world. That's the business, and Peter Pan is running it. Now the whole third act of this movie, though, well, not third act, let me rephrase that. The last boss battle I thought was a little weak, personally.
The movie went down a little bit for me there too, but
yeah,
oh well.
But it's only for that moment. I think what it was just, in my review, I believe I said it was too much. Like there was a lot going on, but somehow still underwhelming.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of doing this Voltron sort of, Power Rangers thing where the main baddie, Big Pete, aka Peter Pan, kind of went into his own machine that, gets rid of your copyright looks and kind of gives you other characters, like you have another character's ear or leg or whatever. And he kind of became this sewn together Frankenstein character of all these different properties. And that became the main boss battle. And even though like the concept I could see on paper seems cool, I don't know. It didn't work for me. But overall, like the rest of the movie was so good that I didn't really mind that little weak boss battle, because it doesn't last too long, and then they immediately jump back into the the comedy of the movie after that for the last few minutes. Seth, what did you think about how this movie progressed and how it ended in that final boss battle?
Yeah, the ending was a little underwhelming, but I can forgive it purely because the rest of the movie, like I said earlier, is just nonstop for the entire thing. So 10 minutes that are just kind of, oh, that's not as good as the rest is all right with me. I hope they make a sequel. The writers are already saying they want to.
They say they have an idea for a sequel for sure. Jimbo says, I thought it was hilarious that Zipper was voiced by the Allstate guy. Oh yes, the Allstate guy. Yeah, and the fact that Zipper and Gadget were a thing. Listen, I'm glad you brought that up, Jimbo, because that brings me to a question I've been wanting to ask Seth. Because there's you know nothing about Rescue Rangers. You've never seen an episode of the Rescue Rangers. I'm surprised you wanted to watch this movie, but and I grew up with the Rescue Rangers. I love that cartoon. But as somebody who is on the outside getting introduced to these characters, does this make you interested in actually watching any of the previous cartoons, or you just interested in watching this version of them moving forward?
I'll be honest, I was slightly intrigued by the show. I was like, maybe I'll watch that one day. I probably won't, though. I'm just going to be honest. I probably will not watch Chip and Dale.
Well, you can at least watch a couple episodes.
Yeah.
So you can get into the know of how the show actually was.
The lore and complex storytelling of Chip and Dale. Yeah.
Exactly, man.
I want to say this real quick, though. I want to ask you first, actually. What was your favorite part of the movie? Or like your favorite cameo or whatever?
Seth Rogen.
Is it like just his character in general, or the scene?
His character. I don't know. His character, just the scene for him, I guess. I think I really just enjoyed Chip and Dale themselves. I think them in the forefront of the movie was my favorite part. And obviously Monterey Jack. Just the whole Rescue Rangers crew. I thought Gadget was a bit benched in the movie. I think she could have done a lot more. As I said, she was actually one of my favorite characters when I actually watched the series growing up. But yeah, I'd say just Chip and Dale themselves are probably my favorite characters in the movie. But my favorite interaction would have to be that interaction with Seth Rogen's Viking character. Just the Polar Express eyes. Yeah. I'm clearly looking at you. Yeah,
the Uncanny Valley is what they call that.
Yeah,
it was that. My jaw dropped when they said Uncanny Valley. I was like, they're going meta with this. Like, that's insane that they actually said the Uncanny Valley. But
is there something I'm missing about the Uncanny Valley?
Do you know what the Uncanny Valley is?
Mm-mm.
It's like, it's this thing. When it specifically comes to like animation, where, or sometimes even like when people try to create like robots in real life and stuff, where it's like you can tell something is kind of human, but isn't human, and it like messes with your brain, and like your brain automatically starts to fear it and sense it as a threat. It's an actual thing. Look it up. Google the Uncanny Valley. This is an actual thing that like your brain will start to sense it as a threat, and like you
weird.
Will, like, it's certain people, obviously some more than others, will just automatically be like scared of it, and that's what the Uncanny Valley is. So like when they said that, I was like, wow, like they're really bringing the Uncanny Valley in here. And then I thought about it. I was like, that makes a lot more sense with Seth Rogen now, because he hadn't shown up yet, but I'd seen the trailer. Yeah. I remember seeing the trailer. I was like, he looks so awful. But watching the movie, it's intentional. Like,
well, in the trailer, it was intentional in the trailer too, because they put that pretty much that core of that scene in the trailer. About making fun of him not looking like he's looking at the window over there instead of them.
But they didn't mention the Uncanny Valley.
Right.
So when they did that in the movie, I was like, that makes a lot more sense now. I'll let you read that first.
Okay. Jimbo says, with all superhero genre being as big as it is, you'd think Darkwing Duck cameo was put in to hint at it being a real thing. Jimbo, I hope Darkwing Duck, man. God, if they do a Darkwing Duck movie, I could die happy. Well, Darkwing Duck, and we also need a Gargoyles live action.
I think they're doing a Gargoyles thing.
Don't tease me, man.
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Don't set me up for failure, bro.
I'll say this though, I wouldn't be surprised if they did something with Darkwing Duck, because he does have a fan base. People like Darkwing Duck, and it's been 25 years since he's done anything.
Yeah.
Hold on. Now I have to look this up. When was Darkwing Duck a thing? 1991.
Yeah.
So was it 30 years ago now? Darkwing Duck was a thing. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised one bit if they did do something with Darkwing Duck. I don't think it would be a meta movie like this, though. They'd probably just do like an actual Darkwing Duck movie.
Yeah, that's what I would guess. That's what I would want. But also,
yeah.
Well, hold on. You bring up a good point though, Seth. Like, because I did bring this up in my review, where I said this movie actually creates the possibility of creating other spin-offs from this universe, this shared kind of Roger Rabbit sort of universe that we can follow these characters in that same fourth dimensional light.
Yeah.
As much as I would love to see a Darkwing Duck movie as Darkwing Duck, I honestly wouldn't mind seeing him in this satire type of thing too. Like, oh, this is his story of him trying to bring Darkwing Duck back. I would love to see that. But Darkwing Duck was definitely on that list of shows that I would watch when I got home at the same time as Power Rangers. They're all part of the same my same routine every day.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it was announced a week ago that the live action Gargoyles movie is not happening.
I told you not to play with my emotions, man.
Oh, no, I misread the date. 1 year ago. It says 2021. I thought it said 2022. Okay. It was going to be apparently dark though, which is odd. But
no, why would that be odd? Gargoyles was a very dark show.
I've never seen Gargoyles. It's just Disney. They don't do anything dark, so I was surprised by it. It just says that Disney almost released a gritty live-action Gargoyles movie, and it says the gritty live-action Gargoyles movie that almost was, and stuff like that. So this was a plan that maybe they'll revisit it at some point, but
they have to, man, because that show should be taken seriously. That shouldn't be treated like a cartoon. That shouldn't get the same Rescue Rangers treatment or anything like that. That needs to be treated like an actual like comic book property coming from Disney. Personally, Cody Ray says, "Dude, I want a Darkwing Duck. I want a Darkwing Duck comeback. Yes, let's get dangerous, man. Let's do it." Seth won't get that reference. Let's get dangerous. It's at the theme song.
Apparently the movie would have been too expensive to produce, so that's why they said it would have been too expensive to produce. Maybe they didn't have enough faith in Gargoyles.
What they need to do, how they can rectify this, is they need to make a teaser, a little snippet of something, and see how the audience reacts to that.
We're going to pull a Deadpool with
yes,
Gargoyles.
Exactly. We're going to go full Ryan Reynolds with it and release it, and then see how the fans react to it. I think they'll get a positive reaction where they know, okay, you know what, we're going to make our return back into this movie.
Maybe they will someday.
Yeah. Cody Gargoyles was an epic show. I remember being on the playground as a kid, like with my other friends, and we'd pretend like we were gargoyles, just like we would jump off the play set and pretend like we were flying around the city. Seth, do you know anything about that show at all?
Nope.
Okay, so the gargoyles are pretty much that. They're gargoyles, which gargoyles are part of like this kind of this Celtic architecture that you see on buildings, like these kind of monster looking creatures that you see on like the edge of buildings, for decorative reasons. Well, the mythology is that I forget why in the show. I can't remember if it was like moon night or at night only, but at a certain point in time they come alive. I think it is at night, and they come alive, and they're actually human. They're not human, but they're actually living beings, and they fight their own mythological creatures at night and do all these sort of things. But by daytime, if they're not back to where they need to be, they'll just turn into stone, as soon as day breaks. So they have to be, everything has to take place at night, or if they're somewhere random during the day, they'll be stuck, as stone, like wherever the hell they're at. So it's
really creative.
But dude, it was a great show, and it was a dark show. Like I would almost put it in the same light as the Batman animated series.
Yeah.
That kind of just darker tone. Like, man, well, I wouldn't give to have that be a movie. And that's what this movie Chip and Dale is doing right now. This discussion that we're having is only possible because Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers made it possible. It just opened up the Pandora's box of early 1990s cartoon nostalgia, and we're all just basking in it. And the thing I love most is that Seth, who has no nostalgic tendencies towards the 90s cartoons, never seen any of them except for the Ninja Turtles cartoons, which I made sure of. You loved it. You liked the movie. Like you were looking forward to more coming from that. Man, what a great way to just breathe new life into these properties. And so what do you think about my idea, Seth? Like of doing sequels to this Rescue Rangers sort of world, or maybe spinoffs rather, to where we see other cartoon properties, but they're all part of that same universe of, again, that Roger Rabbit world where, humans and cartoons live together. Do you like that idea, or would you just prefer to see a cartoon have its own, standalone?
I think if they were to have characters from this movie appear in other things, I'd want it to just be their own thing. Because I think when you dive into this kind of thing, I think if you do that with a bunch of different characters, it would just kind of just be the same thing, but with different characters. I think, keep Chip and Dale in this world if you want to. But, if you want to do like a Darkwing Duck movie or TV show, do a Darkwing Duck movie. Don't do Darkwing Duck, but not acting. Don't do Darkwing Duck interacting with Bob from Monsters vs. Aliens. Like, I don't want to see that. I want to see Chip and Dale do that. That'd be cool. But
right, yeah, no, you do make a good point. It would get actually pretty exhausting pretty quick, if that's what they did.
I think this was a good time to make this movie though, because Roger Rabbit was so long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like when I keep looking up dates for things.
Yeah,
When did
Roger Rabbit
come out?
I believe it's like in the late 80s, if not early 90s, but it's like
1988.
Yeah, I was about to say 88, 89.
So that'll be this decade. So in 6 years, that movie will be 40 years old. So,
Cody Ray says Seth needs to do a marathon watching 90s cartoons. Cody, I don't disagree with you.
I've actually considered it.
Yeah.
you know what the front runner is for me though, that I really want to watch first is X-Men, the animated series. I want to watch that. Yeah, I know what you're referring to though. You're referring to stuff like Darkwing Duck and Gargoyles, but like when I think of like 90s cartoons, I do want to watch X-Men.
Well, they're all in the same. Like you can see the evolution of how we all grew up. Like, like when we were a little bit younger in the early 90s, we watched Rescue Rangers and Darkwing Duck. And as that generation became teenagers, we got Batman, the animated series, and X-Men, animated series. Like the cartoons became a little bit more mature, and then now we're the ones making the movies. And now we've got this beautiful fucking thing called Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
You know, the weirdest part about this movie for me, like just the behind the scenes thing. Have you heard of the band Lonely Island? I'm sure you've heard of the band Lonely Island, right?
I'd have to hear the song. I'm not good with band names.
It's and Andy Samberg is part of it, and he voiced Dale. This is a Lonely Island movie, which weirded me out because like they're like a band and stuff, but then you find out that Andy Samberg is starring in this movie. Obviously, another member of that band directed the movie, and there's someone else who had a bunch of cameo roles and like produced the movie and stuff, and that's weird because they usually do like R-rated like comedies and stuff like that. So the fact they did a Chip and Dale movie just weirded me out.
That's really cool. I didn't know that. That's a really fun fact. Yeah, man, you are just full of knowledge today, man. Yeah, Seth Draven. You can find him only here at Film Trigger, or until he gets done with my bullshit and creates his own channel. Jimbo says it was very small, but there was a Gargoyles reference people caught. See my last comment. I missed. Oh, I didn't see that. But no, that's not it?
I don't think there was another Gargoyles comment from him.
No, I don't know. Maybe I misunderstood what you're saying, but no, I didn't see what the Gargoyles reference people caught. Yeah, I don't know what that was, or the comment that you're speaking of. Anyway, whatever. Sorry, Jimbo, if I got confused there. But when it comes to just the fun of this movie, I think it's a beautifully done for family. Like you said, Seth, it was made by Menchild. Like Andy Samberg and that band of his they all have to be around my age or close to it, because it seems like it was like a passion project. And I said that in my review, but I actually edited it out. I said it seemed like the people who put this together did it as a passion project because there's a lot of love behind it. Yeah. And now that you say that gives me validity that maybe wasn't entirely wrong, and maybe I shouldn't have edited that out of my review. But this is a fun movie for the entire family. The adult driven content in the movie is very prominent, but it's not overdone. Like you can watch it with little asshole Timmy or whatever kids you have, and you can still watch it without all the bad words or whatever that you don't want your kid to see. But you can still enjoy the content as an adult. I think movies like that are just wonderful, and this movie executed it very, very well.
There were some characters in this movie that I was surprised were in it, and I'm not just talking about like the copyright characters like Sonic and stuff. Is it the dad from South Park was in this movie? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like that's when everything was on the table for me at that point. Like as I was wondering, I was like, it'd be really funny if they did a Family Guy thing. But then I was like, oh, maybe they won't because that's like more TV MA and stuff like that. But then I saw South Park and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no, anything is possible. Yeah, they still no Family Guy.
Yeah, they did Simpsons. They did Simpsons, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
they didn't do Family Guy, and they had the rights because it's Disney.
Yeah, it's Disney. Yeah, they own Family Guy, so that's why I was really surprised they didn't do it.
I didn't even think about that. Although I do find the irony that the Simpsons copyright version or anti-copyright version of the characters was actually how the Simpsons looked in the first. Their
original designs. I remember. I noticed that.
Oh man, good stuff, man. Good stuff. Seth, you asked me who my favorite character was. Who was yours?
Who's my favorite character?
Yeah.
Chip and Dale. Which one's which? The one that wasn't Andy Samberg. I think it was Chip.
Yeah, Chip.
The 2D one.
Chip is the 2D one. Chip is the serious one.
Okay, yeah, him. I liked him. He was my favorite character.
You would.
I just like John Mulaney. I don't know.
You would like the stale, boring character. That's totally up your alley. I can see that. I don't know what that says about you, but well, no, because you and I, like, as much as we're similar, you and I are actually pretty different. If people know us, they like our sense of humor. Like, we have the same sense of humor, except I'm more wild and and in your face with it, and you're more dry, subtle. But we have humor. Right. We have the same sense of humor, but like just delivered differently. So yeah, you would like Chip. I like Dale. That's you and me. That's how we are as human beings. I think that's a great comparison. Jimbo says it might not have went through, but I just seen it again. I just sent it again.
I don't think it went through again.
You know what, Jimbo? Give me a second. I'm going to check on the actual YouTube. See if if we're missing comments from our video or not. All right, let's see here. No. No, Jimbo, I don't know what's going on.
Strange.
That is strange. Sorry, Jim. Well, Jimbo, if you get tired of trying to type that in, you want to give us a call, you can call us live on air right now, 740-527-3447. Only because we're live. We do not take the calls when we're not live. I keep getting messages for people calling the show when we're off air, which is, it's fun. It's funny, but they're asking me questions that I just can't answer, because, I'm not live. Yeah. Let's see here. Jimbo says, screw it. Send it to your Facebook. YouTube might be blocking something in the comment. What fucking YouTube algorithm fucks. All right. Let's see here. Let's see, Jimbo. I'm going to find out what this is.
Yeah, I'm curious now.
Oh, come on. Really? My messages aren't coming up.
Jeez.
Here, I'll show you what I'm dealing with here. Literal, what's happening? It's written in the stars, man. I'm not supposed to know what's going on with this. What the hell, dude?
That is unbelievable.
You know what? No, I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna check from my phone. All right, we're gonna get this, Jimbo. All right, I got it on the phone. Jimbo says, "Did you see Super Smash Brothers Easter egg, where Chip and Dale had their own fighting game? There's a Gargoyles reference on that. Google Disney Afternoon Fight Fest if you didn't catch it." No, I remember this. I remember the Smash Bros reference or Easter egg, but like I didn't catch the Gargoyles thing. I'll have to check that out. Seth, can you look that up?
What was it?
He says look up the Google Disney Afternoon Fight Fest if you didn't catch it. And if you feel like it, you can bring it up on the screen. Sorry. All right, Jimbo, we got it, man. We figured it out. Holy hell!
There it is. I see it. All right, hold on.
Let's do, man. Life really tried to make that comment not happen. Now, watch you get like a virus or something from looking this up. And that was like life's warning.
Are you trying to get it?
Okay, I was wondering. I didn't know if you were screen sharing it or not. the anticipation is terrible.
There we go. Can you see it?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, there's.
Oh, okay. I see now. All right. Yeah, look at that. I didn't catch that. Good. All right, man. Well, thank you, Jimbo. I appreciate you sending you guiding us towards that. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I didn't catch it. Well, at least they got some sort of nod in the movie. Good for them. Seth, is there anything else you want to talk about when it comes to Chippendale Rescue Rangers, or does anybody have out there in YouTube land have any questions or comments or something that you really enjoyed about the movie that you want to share with us?
I'll say this. I really enjoyed the one part with all the Seth Rogen cameos, and it wasn't just because of Seth Rogen. I'll say this. Growing up, one of my favorite movies was Monsters vs. Aliens.
That's still such a good movie.
They got his character from Monsters vs. Aliens. And I thought that was kind of crazy. So I enjoyed seeing that. That was funny.
That was a great multi-cameo thing, Jimbo. At this point, it was way more work than it was worth. Man, it doesn't matter. It's about the damn principle of it all. I would end the show if I couldn't get that message up. My messages are not showing up on my thing. I don't know why. That's so weird.
That is weird.
Yeah. The Seth Rogen cameos. Now, Disney has done this before. Pixar did this before with the that one guy. Oh, he played Cliff in Cheers. He does all the voiceover and all the different Pixar movies. Most notably, I think he's in Toy Story.
I'm trying to remember who you're talking about.
I can't remember his name.
Did he play the pig?
Pig, yeah, the pig.
Oh yeah, him. Did they do that?
They did that with him. There's one, I forget. I think it was Cars or something like that. I can't remember that they said. He makes his character that he was playing in the Pixar movie says, "Man, do you notice that they're using the same actor to voice all the same voice, the voice characters in all these movies?" And then they showed like different versions of him playing those characters. It was pretty fun. It was almost the same type of cameo, a little bit more creatively done. But yeah, the Seth Rogen cameo where all of his voiceovers came over and
Pumbaa from The Lion King. I can't remember his character's name from Kung Fu Panda, but that was who the little insect was.
Oh, I didn't even know Seth Rogen was in Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that movie since you were a kid.
I haven't either. I don't know
yes, John Ratzenberg. Thank you, Ratzenberger. Thank you, Jimbo. I appreciate that. That's who we're talking about. Yeah. So one thing, since you did bring up, all the different cameos, and you brought up, Seth Rogen's, playing Pumbaa. One aspect I really enjoyed about this movie was the fact that they made it comical, though, the CGI makeover.
Yeah.
Having the surgery, it was a cosmetic that you could add, almost like having a nose job, and that's how it's played off in the movie. It's no secret, I've had some 3D work done, and it's almost like a smug thing to do, like, an actor trying a little too hard to, keep in the limelight and, being recognized. And
yeah,
but one aspect I really enjoyed about that was Baloo. The bear, Baloo, like look at him. Ever since he had his CGI makeover or his 3D makeover, he's living his best life. I thought that I would love for them to actually bring Baloo back, or at least show him as his cartoon self, because Baloo, I know he's from Jungle Book, but I know Baloo more from Tailspin, which they used the Jungle Book characters and created a show called Tailspin, and Baloo of the same name played in that show as well. And I would have loved to have seen like a Tailspin reference with his CGI self. I don't know. I thought it was very creatively done, and it's one of the many aspects I loved about this movie. Matter of fact, I might put this movie on when I go to bed tonight, just for fun. So, well, that's he played Cliff on Cheers. Well, I think that's all I really have to say about the movie when it comes to what I love about this. It was just cameo of the movie, but like not done in a exhausting way. It was very entertaining, very fun for the whole family, some good adult humor, but like right in that realm where you want your adult humor and family films. It's the grown-ups will get the reference. The kids will just think it's some silly joke. I think it's great. And I gave this movie an A+, which shocked Seth. Seth didn't think I would give it that, but that plus was literally, if I took the nostalgia out of it and just graded this movie just based on what it brought to the table, I would probably give it still maybe an A- to an A. Like, it's still a good, fun movie. And what proves that is that you like it and you have no nostalgia for this movie at all.
Yeah.
So if that doesn't speak volumes, then I don't know what does. So Jimbo says, one thing I'll say is I love the way it was shot. Combining live action CGI and that choppy claymation style, the cartoon Roger Rabbit type stuff. Yeah, man. Like, they made it work. They pretty much made another Roger Rabbit movie. I can guarantee that's exactly how, like, when they're sitting down writing this movie, they're like, okay, Roger Rabbit, but with all of the characters that we grew up with, and because Roger Rabbit was essentially, even though Roger Rabbit, the character himself, was a new character, he wasn't a nostalgic character, he was created just for the movie. All the characters surrounding him in that movie were, cartoon characters that people who made that movie grew up with, the original, Daffy Duck and, what's a Bugs Bunny fucker. It was, and this is Disney's, I guess, was Roger Rabbit a Disney movie?
I'm pretty sure it was. Well, no, that might have been WB. Hold on. I think that was actually WB.
Because much like this movie, they had different cartoon characters from different studios. They had to get the copyright thing through them as well.
It wasn't Disney, but I haven't found exactly who it was yet.
Some random 80s studio that doesn't exist anymore. I really, the way they did mix up all the different styles of animation, I thought that was creative. And again, like I said, Jimbo, before, treating the CGI makeover almost like a nose job, a cosmetic surgery. What's that?
It was Disney.
Oh, well, look at that. All right, cool. But yeah, the way they played this off like a Roger Rabbit, if you would have told me, hey, we're going to make a newer Roger Rabbit type style movie, but with more quote unquote modern characters, more, how do you say this appropriately? Modern nostalgic characters, I think would be the way to say that. I honestly would have said that's not going to work. That's not going to work. But this is why I'm not writing movies, because it freaking worked. It was great. It was hilarious. Nostalgia all tickled. And can we get a little shout out to J.K. Simmons, by the way?
He was having way too much fun.
He was. I tell you what, there was a missed opportunity there.
What with what?
Where was the Eminem guy?
Oh, wow.
That
was JK, right there, too.
You have J.K. Simmons playing in this fourth wall break sort of animated live action hybrid movie. They totally could have done an Eminem cameo with him, because he plays, if you don't know, J.K. Simmons voices the yellow Eminem in all the Eminem commercials.
Yeah.
So, totally missed opportunity there. Jimbo says, well, apparently we're getting another Roger Rabbit in September. Really?
Yeah, I'm looking into that right now.
Really? I mean, what I said about it not working was not, I wasn't saying Roger Rabbit wouldn't work. I was saying that concept I wouldn't have believed would have worked. Now, you tell me the new Roger Rabbit's coming, I'll be like, I'm in for that. Roger Rabbit was a little bit more risque with its jokes, a little bit more adult driven. It was kind of like cartoons at night, the over sexualized, what's Roger Rabbit's girlfriend's name? God damn it.
I can't remember her name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yes, Mrs. Rabbit. She was a very sexualized creature in that movie. I don't know if they would still do that the same when we do get that. But what'd you find about it, Seth?
I mean, it says it's in pre-production, so I doubt it's coming this year. But
is it a movie or a series, or?
That's looking like it's a movie.
Is there any word on if it's theatrical or straight to Disney Plus?
No, it says it's called Roger Rabbit 2: The Toon Platoon.
Oh God. Can we make that any harder to say, please? Thank you. Roger Rabbit 2: The Toon Platoon.
After his human parents tell him he's a toon, Roger Rabbit must find his real parents. He goes to LA and finds a girl called Jessica, his future wife. Then he gets
Jessica Rabbit.
This cannot be real. What is this?
No.
All right, we'll see. This is on IMDb though.
No, keep reading, Seth. I want to let's dive. Let's get to the bottom of this. Malik says enjoyed the show. I'll check it out on YouTube too. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. We'll go check you out on Twitch and see what you're about. Thank you. I appreciate you joining in.
I'll tell you what lost me with this movie is where it says it finds a girl named Jessica, his future wife. Then he gets sent to the military to fight Nazis. So, yeah, not sure if that's something that'll happen.
Well, I told you, so it's a prequel. But I told you Roger Rabbit was a more adult-driven thing.
Yeah.
So, that wouldn't be out of its realm. I mean, in the first Roger Rabbit movie, the opening scene is a cigar-smoking baby who is almost slashes itself to death with knives and burners, whatever dangerous items you can find in the kitchen. It's fantastic movie. I'm seeing Who Framed Roger Rabbit 2, Rise of the Fandom website.
Okay, I'll look at that real quick.
He says Who Framed Roger Rabbit 2, Rise in the crossover, the album Tunes and Toontown Step. The film will be released September 14, 2022 in theaters and Disney Plus is what Google told me. I don't think they're still not doing that same day and date.
No, they're not doing that anymore.
So that has to be old for sure. Man, Jimbo's got us doing some searching today, doesn't he?
I'm pretty sure this is a concept because I cannot find. Oh, no, there's no way. There's no way this is real, is it? Yeah, okay. It's trying to claim that this. Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's trying to claim that the screenplay is being written by 11 people, including Taika Waititi, Chris Columbus, Sean Levy, and
throwing random names out there.
Just throwing random names in here. Yep.
So it's a bust.
Written by George Miller. Produced by Ryan Johnson, Amy Pascal, Tim Burton, Avi Arad. Okay, yeah,
all right.
I doubt this movie's real. I'm sorry.
Man, bad scoop, Jimbo. Bad scoop.
This movie's being directed by 15 people. Yeah, this movie.
And that's why we're Film Sugar, man. We get to the bottom, to the real news. Oh, man. That's good stuff, dude. Good stuff.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, that's really all I have to say about what are you laughing about now?
I'm still reading this. I'm getting down to the cast and the music. Hans Zimmer, Alan Silvestri, who did the Avengers and Back to the Future, Michael Giacchino, Junkie XL.
They're literally just throwing every fucking name out there.
They're throwing literally every name in here. That is insane. I'm going to close this before I get too invested.
Starring God.
The cast had Christopher Lloyd, who of course was in the first one, Amy Adams, Zendaya, Andy Samberg was in there too. He was just in Chippendale. They were going away. There's a lot.
Oh man, Jimbo says, to be fair, I didn't open the direct site. Well,
I think I know that the website though, Fandom, they can be used for reliability, but they also have a subsection dedicated to theory movies, what if this movie was real? Concepts, concept movies. They have that section. That's probably what that was.
Nice.
But
hey, Jimbo, don't
bring it up though. There was.
Thank you. We enjoyed the adventure.
We did, and it looks like they are actually developing a Roger Rabbit 2. It's just not coming this year,
right? And it's not a Nazi fighting Roger Rabbit.
That might be though, because that was on IMDb, and IMDb
that's right.
section.
You know what? I'm done. I'm too confused about whatever that is now. But yeah, Roger Rabbit movie. I'm down for it. If you want more family friendly, but still in the same line of Roger Rabbit, and you haven't seen it, but for some reason still watched our spoiler talk, go see Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. If you've seen it once, go see it again. I say go see it. Go to your couch and watch it. Yeah. But which I might do tonight. Actually, I might actually just put that on because I really just loved that movie. I thought it was great. And who knows? Maybe on my second watch, I won't think it's as fun, but maybe I'll love it more. Who knows? I want to thank everybody who joined us in the comments. You guys make this show great. Jimbo, the MacGuffin that he had us chasing. I appreciate it, man. It's a lot of fun. It really is. We don't have this show without you guys. So I want to thank everyone who joined us today. If you haven't yet, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, share our content. That's the only way we're going to grow.